This must be from the offerings, because I tried to put in the Harriet Tubman 20s and they rejected it. I mean, it's not legal tender yet, but still, they only take white bills. Hey, welcome to Racist of the Week. I am Reese Waters. This is where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can throw them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Today's nominee, that can't be right. DC's Metropolitan AME Church. What did the church do? Let me see this. Black DC church vandalized by Proud Boys awarded control of the group's name. And think about that. All that time that Dan Snyder spent vandalizing DC football fans, and we never got control of that name because it certainly wouldn't be Commanders. The ruling effectively prohibits Proud Boys chapters from legally using their own name or typical symbols without the permission of Metropolitan AME Church. Oh, you love to see it. Now, does this also include if Trump is signaling or dog whistling to the Proud Boys? Do they have to go through the church then as well? Because they ain't been obeying protocol. A historic black church in DC that was vandalized by members of the extremist Proud Boys in 2020 has secured the group's naming rights, allowing the institution to seek proceeds from sales of the organization's merchandise and membership dues. You know, if I was the church, I would keep selling the merchandise, but I would accentuate it a little bit. You know what I mean? Put a nice little kente cloth strip on there with Proud Boys on top of it. Or how about this? Stand back and stand by with a nice little Malcolm X fist on it. Under the ruling from DC Superior Court Judge Tanya Bozier, and shout out to her, this is the kind of creative justice that we need. The Proud Boys International LLC, I need to know, which one of y'all out here incorporated the Proud Boys International? Huh? Stuff like that should have a paper trail. I mean, really, they came in with a stack of papers saying, yes, we would like to incorporate our hate. Oh, that's no problem. Here's a pen. Oh, you know what? This is a black pen. You know, let me find you something else. The Proud Boys International LLC must seek permission from the Metropolitan African Methodist Episcopal Church or the court to sell anything with the trademark name, which includes its black and yellow insignia. Oh, you love to see it. Bozier effectively granted the church control over the name and symbols of the far-right group. I would also, I would really flood the market if I was them. I would flood the market with Proud Boys stuff. You know what I mean? I would some nice little Proud Boys Bibles. You know what I mean? Some Proud Boys booties for Easter. How about that? I get some Proud Boys wigs for the deaconess. A downtown landmark steeped in civil rights work, the church never received a multi-million-dollar judgment that the Proud Boys and its leader were ordered to pay in a civil case. The case stemmed from the night that the Proud Boys tore down and destroyed the church's Black Lives Matter sign. The ruling was first reported by the New York Times. See, this is why you pay your bills. This is why you pay your bills here, because all you had to do was pay your bills. Now, for destroying a Black Lives Matter sign, the whole DMV is going to be flooded with the Proud Boys present Black Lives Matter signs. By the way, Metropolitan Church, I just came up with that one myself, but I got a note full of them. Hit me up. It is justice, it is karmic, said the Reverend William Lamar IV, the church's pastor. It is our victory in a long line of victories, he added, and part of our unbroken, joyful resistance. He said the church will not be silent when the violence is perpetrated against us, and that we will do everything we can to get the money. We will not stop until we are made whole. Huh. I'm sure he said huh at the end. He had to. Come on, y'all know he did. Hey, y'all listen to him talk then.
Tarrio wasn't at the Capitol on January 6th because he'd been banned from the district.
Yeah, but 48 hours before the deadly riot, he was arrested for vandalizing two historically black churches in the district after a pro-Trump rally. One of those churches sued Tarrio and the Proud Boys, and a D.C. judge awarded them a $1 million judgment.
News 4's Walter Morris tonight continues our team coverage with new reaction from the pastor of Metropolitan AME Church.
This is the beginning of what justice could look like.
Nearly 3 years after Metropolitan AME was hit by hate, the pain and the lessons learned still fresh in the minds of many. December 2020, after a pro-Trump rally, a racist mob attacking the historic black church before burning a Black Lives Matter sign at another. And Tuesday, one of the men responsible for that vandalism, former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison for his role on January 6th.
I think that Mr. Tarrio, first of all, is a white supremacist. And let's be clear that one does not have to be white to be a white supremacist.
Metropolitan AME pastor Reverend William Lamar IV speaking with News 4 moments after Tarrio learned his fate.
Those who commit treason should indeed know the full weight of the law, not to mention the fact that his traitorous ideas are fueled by an anti-blackness.
Following the racist attack on the church, Metropolitan AME taking the Proud Boys to court. And in July, a D.C. Circuit judge ordering Tarrio and 4 other Proud Boys leaders will have to pay more than $1 million for the destruction.
Ancestors are waiting for us to respond with the dignity, with the conviction, and with the steadfastness with which they responded. So I was clear that, unlike other congregations, we would not sweep this under the rug.
Reverend Lamar says that ruling is just a small part of Metropolitan AME's ongoing fight against injustice, and it's far from over.
Every human being made in the image and likeness of God ought to be protected. And not only were black people in the sights of Proud Boy violence, but also Jewish people, immigrants, queer people. And this type of hate, which is leveraged for political advantage, must stop.
And Reverend Lamar wouldn't go into specific details about Metropolitan AME's lawsuit against the Proud Boys, but he says the church will do everything they can to be made whole. In the district, Walter Morris, News 4.
Okay, I stand corrected. That must just be a Baptist thing, but I'd have lost money on that one in Vegas. Caitlin Banner, the Deputy Legal Director of the Washington Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights and Urban Affairs, which represented the church, called it fitting that money from the Proud Boys will go to fund the good works of the historic black church. Not only that, I would put Proud Boys on literally every act of the church. I absolutely would. What's that? Altar call? No, it's Proud Boys altar call now. Yeah. But we take ladies as well. How much money the church will receive is unclear. Enrique Tarrio, who's led the Proud Boys, said in an interview, "I wipe my A with the judge's decision." Hey, Enrique. Did the church say you could wipe your A? Huh? I don't know that the church would say that. Better come again. He said that the person who set up the LLC has been kicked out of the group and that the corporation has been dissolved. He declined to say if he remained chairman of the group, calling it more of an idea that can't be sued. Isn't that what they do? That's what they do. Everybody's broke as soon as they get sued, right? Now nobody has any money. Rudy Giuliani had all this money. All of a sudden, Shay Moss wins that judgment against him, and now he's walking around with bread loaves on his feet. I fear nothing, he said of the ruling, adding that he was in prison when the lawsuit was filed and couldn't adequately respond. You fear nothing. Is that why you apologized for January 6th, sir? Is that it? Is that what that was about? That was about fearing nothing? Okay. Better hope you don't go back in. I mean, you probably won't, judging by who we have in charge right now, but you said he fears nothing. They gonna remember that in the yard. The judge put a $1 million settlement on a $40 sign. And you know what? That I have experience with. Because let you get a ticket in DC. That ticket be $50. If you don't pay that bad boy in a couple of months, you gotta sell your house. A judge said that replacing the sign and taking steps to protect the church cost $36,622.76. I told you. See? I told you. My $50 ticket was more than that. The Proud Boys group has a history of violence. Its leaders were convicted of seditious conspiracy for their role in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. The group had marched multiple times in Washington in the lead up to the January 6 attack when authorities allege members of the group roamed the streets looking to fight. This recent case stems from a night of violent protests on December 12, 2020 on behalf of then President Donald Trump, who had lost re-election. Police arrested nearly 36 people and responded to acts of violence, stabbing, fights, and acts of vandalism. Black Lives Matter banners and signs were torn from 2 historic black churches and destroyed. A banner belonging to Asbury United Methodist Church, one of the oldest black churches in the city, was set on fire. Has Asbury United Methodist been made whole yet? Okay, cause I got the Patriots front number. If Patriot Front was involved, I got their number, Asbury. Hit me up. Tario, then leader of the Proud Boys, later confessed to participating in the burning and was sentenced to 5 months in jail. And just imagine being that incensed by a Black Lives Matter sign as a brown person. I haven't seen that level of internalized white supremacy and self-hate since, well, right-wing YouTube, I guess.
But when I see things on the internet that are grossly unjust, I have to talk about them. And I know you guys have seen the last couple of days I've made videos about Michelle Bishop, who's a young lady that was at the doorstep of what I consider to be a con artist. And she was, in my opinion, honestly afraid because of the behaviors of this guy that lives there. And given the fact that he wanted to be a social justice warrior, in my opinion, and wanted clout and want to make it a race thing when this should have been over. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women. So let me be.
That's not what we arguing about, bitch.
All the time. Though Tario was not in DC during the Capitol riot due to his arrest in the banner burning case, he was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison for seditious conspiracy and obstructing a congressional proceeding by a judge who called him, quote, the ultimate leader of the insurrections who was motivated by revolutionary zeal. And you know what? He can put that, you know, he can take that and put it on his books that they called him the ultimate leader. That's strong. Trump granted clemency to Tario and other leaders of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers last month, while also pardoning roughly 1,600 January 6 defendants, including those who attacked police. Now you might be wondering, I wonder what all those people are up to now, because it says 1,600, but now they be reporting 1,500. Where are all those people? They back in jail. Yeah, they back in jail. If you want to do discrepancy in the number, they back in jail. If I do an article about the J6 hostages in 2 months, it'll be 1,200. It is what it is.
The FBI executed 3 federal arrests this morning at a ranch in Groveland. The agency says these 3 people from Polk County, Jonathan Pollock, Olivia Pollock, and Joseph Hutchinson, were taken into custody for their involvement in the Capitol riots. Now, these arrests come as we mark 3 years since the Capitol riots. This is video from the FBI that they say shows the 3 fugitives from Lakeland storming the Capitol. Jonathan Pollock has been accused of assaulting multiple police officers with a deadly weapon. The FBI says he was on the run since agents raided his family home in 2021. According to the agency, Joseph Hutchinson and Olivia Pollock cut off their ankle monitors and disappeared shortly before their trials were set to begin in D.C. last March. The FBI says all 3 are scheduled to appear in federal court in Ocala on Monday. In the studio, Stephanie Buffmonte, Fox 35 News.
Matter of fact, I did a video all about it, and that needs to be updated already. And it's less than a week old. Brown was also charged with 2 misdemeanors for attending the January 6th riot, where he was photographed in a helmet and military gear. Those charges, court records show, were dropped shortly after the president's pardon. Other J6ers with similarly unclear pardon situations include Daniel Ball. Oh, y'all remember Daniel Ball. But wait, there's more. There's Dominic Box, who's awaiting sentencing for felony civil disorder, who remains in the same Kentucky jail as Brown. While awaiting trial for his January 6 charges, he was arrested by a deputy who said he found him passed out in his car outside a Jacksonville restaurant. Now, if I was Box, I would say, you remember you found me passed out in the car outside the Jacksonville restaurant? Yeah. Well, the same thing happened January 6th. Yeah, I woke up and there was insurrection. You know, I don't know. I was sleepwalking, sir. After January 6 prosecutions affected their leadership and court records showed Tarrio was once a prolific cooperator with the FBI, oh, they gonna love that. He said he feared nothing. He said he feared nothing, but they had put out that he had cooperated with the FBI while he was inside. Yeah. Then he came back out now that everybody in the group knows that he was cooperating. You know what I like? Because they always say that, oh, they were feds that were involved in January 6th and these were the feds that were, yeah, there it is. Yeah. Y'all were right about something. Court records show Tarrio was once a prolific cooperator with the FBI and local law enforcement. The group struggled to regroup at the national level. Even in the aftermath of Tarrio, the Proud Boys' former chairman, receiving a pardon, the group has fractured, with those loyal to Tarrio remaining in official chapters and those distrustful of him branding themselves as autonomous chapters. I got an idea to all the autonomous chapters. If you really want to break free of Proud Boys, why don't you change the name of your group? I have an idea. Metropolitan AME Church. You're welcome. You're welcome. Still, several members returned to Washington on Inauguration Day last month after years of largely viewing the Capitol as a no-go zone, chanting, "Whose streets? Our streets." So y'all just come once every 4 years? Is that what it is? Yeah? Come once every 4 years with or without your FBI cooperating leader? Gotcha. I would also say, technically, it is Metropolitan AME's streets. So, y'all need to go ahead and change that. That's whose streets, our streets, whose streets, Metropolitan AME streets. Mess with the cadence a little bit. The Metropolitan African Methodist Episcopal Church listed Tarrio among defendants in its civil suit over the vandalism of its banner, and again in a lawsuit seeking control of the Proud Boys Trademark. In ruling for the church in 2023, a DC judge described the vandalism as an attack that resulted from a highly orchestrated set of events focused on the Proud Boys' guiding principles, white supremacy, and violence. That judge ordered the Proud Boys to pay $1 million, which was later amended to $2.8 million. With interest, attorneys said the amount has reached $3.1 million. And I will say, as a DC resident, $1 million turning into 3.1 after this amount of time is a steal. Yeah, that is a steal. I'm surprised that 1 million hasn't turned into Elon Musk's net worth at this point. Attorneys for the church said that the Proud Boys had paid $1,500 towards their settlement. $1,500. You would have paid more than that if they would have put you on a payment plan, like $1,500. You mean y'all lost $1,500 and it was handed over to the church? Because I know you didn't come with no $1,500 when you owe $1 million. Excuse me. I would like to point to Exhibit A. Here are the Proud Boys as currently constituted. I actually think $1,500 is pretty good for them. In court filings in the trademark case, those attorneys asserted that the group has allowed its chapters across the country to recruit and market using the trademark name without paying a cent of royalties to Proud Boys International, royalties that could be used to satisfy the church's judgment. And if it's one thing I know about the church, they don't play about their money. So they'll clean that. They're gonna get those trustees on there. They're gonna clean that up in no time. That ain't no problem. Well, needless to say, the reaction to the news, they were not pleased. Enrique, they mad. They big mad. Here's one. Enrique Tarrio refused to fight back against the church suing civilly because he thought it was gay. His brothers and close circle pushed him, but this F was too based and too busy clout chasing the media interviews to care about the fraternity. Now this progressive, political, left-leaning black church will sue individuals for possessing, producing, and wearing Proud Boys gear and merch. Fedregay? Oh, because he was a Fed? Okay, got you. Fedregay had the duty to protect this club. By the article below, his pride and sense of greatness betrayed whatever bit of loyalty he had for his bros. In the end, Snitch Tarrio is about grifting for his back pocket via send, give, go to buy another Tesla because of course. How could he allow this to happen to us? You know, it's almost like he doesn't even care. Which is kind of odd because you already called him a fan. So you have all the information. Now, to be fair, not everybody was as angry as these Proud Boys chapters.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Oh boy, I've been waiting for this. What's up?
Now, what we need to figure out as a community, and by the way, Metropolitan AME Church, I'm willing to come in and consult. What we need to figure out as a community is how we are going to use the term Proud Boys. How are we going to now disseminate use of the term Proud Boys? I got an idea. How about the NBA champions? Yeah, you win the champ because it's the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Don't nobody know that. The NBA champions every year be known as the Proud Boys. I got one. How about the winning spades team at the family reunion? They the Proud Boys. Hey, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. First of all, thanks to an overwhelming response when I asked whether or not you guys would want to potentially move my weekly Tuesday 2 p.m. live tonight. You guys said you did. We tried it last week and it was amazing. So we're going to keep that going for the next week or two. So look for those Tuesday lives to be at night, probably 8 o'clock. There'll also be some members only lives as well. I tried that and lo and behold, I can just go live anytime. That is spectacular. So look for some members only lives as well, some polls on that side of things as well. I also have a brand new email for you that is admin@reesewaters.com. reeswaters.com. Just in case you want a quick response, you can email admin@reeswaters.com, and I can pretty much guarantee it will be quicker. It will be quicker than the other one. We also have a bunch of merch ideas that you guys have sent in. Some of them are phenomenal. So we went and got some people to help us with the merch. So I'm really excited about some of the stuff that we have on the horizon. You can check all of that out at reeswaters.com. Also, shout out to the new subscribers and members here on the channel, as well as those that have been helping me out. That is Regina, who's been helping me out immensely with research, and our moderators, Mariana and Dank, as well as our head moderator, Miss Ray. I'm extremely grateful for you guys. A whole lot more to come.